Being a jack of all trades isn't always a good thing, but it suited Nelly Furtado well. Her debut album reveled in a neo-hippie multicultural aesthetic. A few years later, her collaboration with a superstar hip-hop producer resulted in several smashes on the album that would be her biggest and most enduring commercial hit. The artistic evolution, which also included proudly displaying her Portuguese heritage, cemented her status as one of the most unpredictable pop musicians of her era. But then it all stopped. In this video, we'll dive into Nelly's life, career, the reasons why she disappeared from the music scene, and her unexpected comeback. Nelly Kim Furtado was born on December 2, 1978, in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Her parents were born in Portugal and immigrated to Canada in the late 1960s, where they raised Nelly along with her brother and sister. She became involved in music and fell in love with the art early in life. I started with music at a really young age. I was 4 when I first performed. It was at my Portuguese church hall for about 400 people for the Portugal Day celebration. I sang a duet with my mother. I was only 4, but I knew right away that I loved to perform. I picked up an instrument when I was 9. I started playing the ukulele. Then I started playing the trombone when I was 10 or 11. You start with band at school, and then I also played in jazz bands in junior high and high school, and then I started playing in a Portuguese marching band at night. So I played that for 8 or 9 years, and throughout all this, I had a real infatuation with urban music and hip-hop, and I listened to that religiously, from the time I was 12 or 13 until I was 17 or 18. I wrote so many songs. I was always writing. I kept books and books of songs and ideas. I was writing out the whole song melodically, and I'd ask for things for Christmas, like recording devices or little keyboards. Fun fact, Nelly loved to go downtown after school and hang out with the hip-hop kids who were freestyling. She was so inspired by them that she even wrote rhymes for a while. She also had a rap name given to her by her friends, MC Scats. After graduating from high school, Nelly moved to Toronto and lived with her sister. She worked a regular 9-to-5 while continuing to pursue her true passion, music. Later, she would meet Tallis Newkirk, member of the hip-hop group Planes of Fascination. Together, they formed a trip-hop duo called Nelstar. Ultimately, though, Nelly tired of the group, left, and planned to move back home. Also around this time, her appearance at one particular talent show would act as a pivotal turning point in her career. Her performance attracted the attention of the Philosopher King singer Gerald Eaton, who then approached her to write with him. He and fellow Kings member Brian West helped her produce a demo. The material recorded during these sessions was shopped to record companies and led to Nelly landing a record deal with DreamWorks Records in 1999. Her first single, Party's Just Begun Again, was released that year on the soundtrack album for the 1999 drama film Broke Down Palace. Her debut album, titled Whoa Nelly, was released the following year. It was an international success, supported by 3 singles: I'm Like a Bird, Turn Off the Light, and Shit on the Radio, Remember the Days. It received 4 Grammy nominations, and I'm Like a Bird won for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know where my soul is. In 2002, she collaborated with Colombian artist Juanes in the song Fotografía, or Photograph, where she showed her aptitude of yet another language, Spanish. Nelly had a daughter with her then-boyfriend, DJ and producer Jasper Kahania, as she was working on her second album, Folklore, released in 2003. Her new role as a mother would be evident on the project. While it didn't match the success of her previous album in such markets as the United States and Australia, it did become a success in several European countries. The album also suffered from underpromotion due to DreamWorks' acquisition by Universal Music Group, a situation that eventually led to Nelly landing at Geffen Records. Nonetheless, Folklore garnered some positive attention with the single Forza, used as a theme to the 2004 European Football Championship. Nelly's third album, Loose, dropped in 2006. This time around, partially thanks to the influence of the main producer on the project, Timbaland, she takes a major departure from her previous style, experimenting with sounds from R&B, hip-hop, and 80s music. It went on to become the most successful album of her career, as it reached #1 not only in Canada and the United States, but also several countries worldwide. The album produced her first #1 hit in the US, Promiscuous, as well as her first #1 hit in the UK, Maneater. Say It Right eventually became her most successful song worldwide due to its huge success in Europe and in the United States, where it became her second #1 hit. All Good Things Come to an End became her most successful song in Europe, topping single charts in numerous countries there. Fun fact, Nelly confessed to Billboard in 2023 that she made Loose because she wanted to do an arena tour and she really wanted songs that would sound good in that type of venue. She added that she was also inspired by Madonna's Ray of Light album and Janet Jackson's Janet album. Nelly also experienced success as a featured artist on Timbaland's track Give It To Me, which dropped in 2007. She, along with Justin Timberlake, who was also featured, got to have another hit as it climbed all the way to the top spot on the Hot 100. In the spring of 2007, Nelly was a performer and host of the 2007 Juno Awards in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. She won all 5 awards for which she was nominated, including Album of the Year and Single of the Year. After her relationship with her daughter's father ended in 2005, Nelly would go on to marry Cuban sound engineer Damasio Demo Castellon in the summer of 2008. They'd previously worked together on her Loose album. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight Canada, she said, "We got married July 19th. I love it. It's a nice phase of my life. I just feel kind of free and relaxed and more in tune with trying not to be so stressed out. I'm trying to enjoy things a little more. I'm happy. I'm excited about the future." She formed her own record label, Nelstar, in conjunction with Canadian independent label group Last Gang Labels. Manos al Aire, her first single off her debut Spanish-language album, was released on the new label in June 2009. The album, titled Mi Plan, dropped that September. It won her a Latin Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Album. Nelly released her first greatest hits album, titled The Best of Nelly Furtado, the next year. 3 new songs were included on the greatest hits album: Night is Young, Girlfriend in the City, and a track left over from the Loose sessions called Stars. The largely positive and upbeat The Spirit Indestructible, Nelly's 4th English studio album, dropped in 2012. While the album failed to match the commercial success of Loose, it garnered favorable attention, including a nomination for Pop Album of the Year at the Juno Awards. In a candid interview with the Daily Mail in 2012, Nelly confessed that she's had her fair share of ups and downs in her career. 6 years ago, I had a nervous breakdown on stage. I was on the Loose tour and my daughter was with me. I was being a mom and a singer on the road. I was exhausted. Then one night I went on stage and I suddenly realized how stressed out I was. I actually cried my way through the first 2 songs. I took a break from music and went home. And I realized that being at home and having the whole family experience was what I was seeking. By 2016, she'd severed ties with Interscope, announced her 6th studio album, The Ride, and released the first single called Pipe Dreams. The Ride appeared in early 2017. That spring, during an appearance on the British daytime panel show Loose Women, she also announced she'd separated from her husband the previous year. In 2022, after a 5-year performing hiatus, Nelly joined Drake on stage for the latter's October World Weekend concert in Toronto, where she performed Promiscuous and I'm Like a Bird. The crowd went absolutely wild, proving she had really been missed. Nearly a year after the surprise on-stage appearance, she admitted to Vogue in a July 2023 interview, "I thank Drake for dragging me out on that stage, because I haven't looked back since. I was a little hesitant because it had been so long. I was literally at the zoo with my 2 toddlers that morning." Yup, you heard that right. Nelly's back. And surprise, during her hiatus, she also had 2 more children. Apparently, the father of both of her youngest children is American rapper and record producer Gerald Damian Long, formerly known as Haji Beats. Motherhood has played a huge role in her time away from the spotlight. Now a single mother to 3, Nelly has been focusing on raising her children while living a quieter life back in Canada. But now she says she's finally ready to make music again. I want to inspire other moms and women out there that even in your 40s, you can re-embrace your talents and go for it. When you're an artist, a singer-songwriter, you're sensitive, you're an empath. You can't keep churning it out. You get fatigued emotionally and creatively. I had to stop and really go through some real-life experiences to be able to be where I'm at now, which is a fully grown-ass woman, just feeling like a lady boss, living with no shame or apologies. I am a mother and it is part of my identity, but I'm also the mother of my creativity and art. That also needs to be nurtured. Being an artist is my purpose. so I had to learn to let go of that guilt, which is very difficult as a mom. But you need to live the change that you would like. Also in 2023, she released 2 non-album tracks, Eat Your Man with Australian DJ and house music producer Dom Dolla, as well as Keep Going Up with her old collaborators Timbaland and Justin Timberlake. In May 2024, Nelly put on an amazing performance at NPR Music's Tiny Desk. The reaction from the live audience as well as their YouTube channel's comment section proved that the moment was long overdue. Nelly released her 7th studio album, titled 7, in September, and is currently having the time of her life promoting it. Fun fact, while 7 is her 7th album, another reason for the simple title can be attributed to Prince. Nelly's always been a huge fan, especially of his song called 7 from his 1992 album, Love Symbol. In an interview with Wonderland magazine just a couple of weeks before the album dropped, Nelly was asked if she still connects with her craft the same way she used to back in the day. Her answer? I've recently rediscovered and reconnected with the reasons behind what I do over the last 3 years. While making the new album, I remembered so clearly what it's all about, which is simply the process of making it. It's really that simple. Hanging out with DJs reminded me that it's just about creating something pure and letting listeners enjoy and vibe to it. I feel like I'm 19 again, stomping around Toronto in my raver pants, putting up posters. Do you know what I mean? It's about having fun musically, and I'm in that same place again.